Okay, in this video, let's have a look at developing what we call the. We've done the table to work out interest for a situation involving compound interest. Let's have a look at an example. Let's look at the same example. Let's look for a pattern. So here we had $5,000. The compound interest. We had $5,000, and then we had 11% interest, and so our final amount was so we get 5,550. Now notice you got 5,000, 5,000, so effectively, and I'm going to rewrite it like this, you got the original whole amount represented by the 1, so I'm going to take 5,000 outside a bracket, and then it's increased by 11%. So you get this expression. 0.0, let me just use my eraser. When you add 1 plus 0.1, we get 5,000 times 11, 1.11. My handwriting's very dodgy. Okay, now, so that's after the first year. So that's the first year. Now what happens in the second year, we take this amount here, 5,550, and then we work out 11% of that. 5,550. Now I'm not going to bother working that out. What you can see there is you take the 5,550 outside again, so you got the whole amount at the start of the year. That's what the 1 represents. That represents 100%, and then the 11% increase is the 0.1. So you end up with this 5,550 times by 1.11. Now this is the bit. So that's the end of the second year. But I'll just highlight the different colour. This 5,550, that's actually the same as this number down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute that in for that 5,550, and I get this. 5,000 in terms of the original number, that's my principal, times by 1.11. So that there corresponds to that number, and then I've got to carry down this bit here, so I've got another times by 1.11, and this is why I've done this. You'll see there's a pattern. So what do you think the amount, to get the amount at the end of the third year without doing all the intermediate calculations based upon the pattern? This is 5,000 to the power times by 1.11 to the power of 1. 2 years, at the end of the 2 years, it's 5,000 times 1.11 squared. And at the end of 3 years, hopefully what you'd say, well, just work that out. We just write 5,000 times 1.1, bracket's not very good, 1 cubed. In fact, you can leave out the brackets, you can just write it as 5,000 times 1.11, and any mathematician or person who knows a bit of advanced mathematics will accept that. So in general, to work out compound interest, let's summarise what we have here. So the final amount that you'll have after n years. So here, this is after 3 years, is going to be given for a principal. So that's the amount of money you invest, capital P, earning, what's that? R%, oops. R% interest compounded, that's the key word, compounded yearly, is given by, it's hard to write on the screen, the final amount, you have a look up here, this was the principal, the original amount invested, so let's put the P, put a bracket. This number here is made up of 1 plus the interest rate, as a decimal I should say, and then you raise that to the power of n. So that's your general formula for working out compound interest.